Hey, I'm Ted. Welcome back to another Skoolie conversion video. Today we are framing walls, starting to look more like a tiny home every day. Alright, so a lot of decisions to make at this phase of the game. It seems like there's a million ways to do it, and I'm not sure if any of them are right. Well, probably sure a lot of them are. I'm not sure if my way is right. But it's a couple things to consider, I guess, as we're going through this process. So first, you can frame, one option. I see a lot of people going all the way up through the windows up to here. But I'm not confident I'm going to keep these windows forever. Part of me is thinking that I'm going to want to replace these with RV windows at some point, or it just could be that I need to recaulk them and reseal them at some point. So I want to be able to access them. So I'm going to stop my framing right about here. So we've got a 2x2 on the floor, and just as a side note, people that talk about 2x2s, and I'm just assuming, I've built houses conventionally with 2x4s, so I'm more familiar with that. RVs, I'm not sure. I don't think you can actually buy 2x2s. I think you rip down 2x4s, but seems to me that they vary in width, even though they're supposed to be 3.5 inches. So instead of ripping them at 1 3/4, I rip them at like 1 11/16. And I rip both sides. That way I know they're exactly the same size. Not that it might be a huge deal, but it seems to me the more you stack things up consistently over time, it just makes it easier to get everything to work out in the end. So that's what I did with that. And then you could have had to deal with this chair rail here, and I tried notching a piece and putting it in and just kind of putting it over there. But the other issue is down below here, if you can see, these bolt heads get in the way, and it's probably out about 1/8 of an inch. So this made it stick it out, and there's all sort of cattywampus. So I think my working plan is to put a little baby piece down here. That's too long. We've got to cut off the bottom plate to make that fit. Realize I measured from here to here and I didn't cut off my bottom plate. But I'm going to take this bottom plate and I'm going to screw it in there, directly into the rib. I'll cut this little piece off, stack one in there, and I ripped this a little bit thinner, so it should fit even over those rivet heads. It should still be flush with the bottom plate. So I'm going to cut those down. I pre-drilled holes in there just so that I can get the head of the bolt through it, and then I'll also those other ones. These should sit cut this notch to fit on the chair rail there. It'll fit like that. And then I guess still pre-drill my holes for that. And then this plate will sit on top like that. I'll screw down below it and leave me room for a piece of 3/4 inch trim at the top like that. I also pre-drilled a hole here for conduit. I'm going to run stranded wire from my 110 circuits, and it calls for conduit, so that's going to I'll be able to stick conduit in there, I hope. I also had a roll of this sill sealer around, so I cut up some pieces. This is a little bit of extra insulation. Put it up there. I had it kicking around, so why not? I lost my stuff. Well, what do you think? Will it work? That's pretty even. Some of these are just odd. I could shim that out, I guess. Some irregularities that didn't sit in really tight. You make it go in a little bit tighter, I guess. But I got holes to run my wiring through. I got room to put trim up top there. I can still insulate through, and I can cover this whole thing over with some sort of sheathing. I think, or if it's going to be hidden, I'm going to just use a piece of plywood, and if it's going to be exposed, I'll probably use pallet wood or something a little bit more, with some more character, I think. I think it'll work. I guess it's time to start mass producing pieces, batch them out. Hopefully it'll be faster. Now time to get all these little ones. Put some glue on them so they don't spin all the way around. It'll save me from having to put 2 screws in each one of them. So we're trying to describe the contours of the ceiling here so that I know the BE adventure couple, Brian and Aaron, did like 5,000 little tiny blocks. And I'd kind of like to avoid that. I'm not as tall and strong as Brian. So I'm hoping to scribe it on these bunch of 2x10 cutoffs I got. So, I'm gonna hold it.
I will hold, but I think it'll be both of us.
Probably both of us.
And
Alright. Yes. Jimmy. Inside.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, we get all these bows in it.
Yeah, I think we need a stiffer piece of cardboard or a thin piece of 1/4-inch plywood.
Plywood. Plywood might be better.
And
I
cardboard.
agree with you.
It's got too much flex.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2. Attempt number 2. Okay, we modified our scribe. Kind of a compass. Had to make it a little bit shorter because I had a short piece of plywood. ¿Estás lista?
Go for it.
Oops. I gotta slide the piece up to follow. I'm following the square, not the. Alright.
Just drawing a straight line.
Yeah, I was drawing a straight line.
Need another color Sharpie?
Oh boy. I'm hung out.
Oh, your square won't slide anymore. That's about all you're going to get, unless you turn the square around. And I'm afraid if I drop my hands, they're going to totally screw up, so I can't give you any more than
I got it. Woo, baby.
Ooh, we're in close contact. It's a good thing you can't see what's going on here.
I think that's it. Oops.
I made a curve.
We made a curve.
Looks like a mountain.
Yay.
Okay. Not a mountain.
I think working around these things is going to be kind of a pain, so maybe we do this in 3 pieces where we have this section here and then skip furring on that section, and then do these sections to there, maybe. So end it there, end it there. That. I'm gonna come in 1.5 inches. Okay, we're working on getting the fern strips in the middle section anyway. Like I said, rather than doing 5,000 little blocks, I had a bunch of cut off 2x10s that I used a jigsaw and got these down. So kind of only just doing center to one side. I'll go back and do the other side some other time. And just stick that right up there like that. Just because it I just use the spray adhesive because it makes it stick there without having to hold it. I'm going to get my furring strip. I think clamps with, oops. Something wrong. I get talking and I lose track of what I'm doing. Maybe I should have the pre-drilled holes out on this side. I kind of sunk them a little bit. Rather than going with 2.5 screws, I went with 2. So I kind of sunk them just a whisker. But probably rubber, clamps with rubbers, the rubber feet at the bottom, and then the squeeze clamp probably work a lot better. They're not as strong, but they don't have to be super strong. But these are just the ones I've got. I've got a little piece. I'm going to hang these down about 3/16 of an inch, so that just in case anything weird happens and it's not, I want to make sure it's down just a little bit below the ribs here. So I've just got a little piece that I check it with. Looks good. Put my clamps on there. I found too that it's kind of scary putting the clamps at the bottom because I'm afraid they're going to fall on my head. But if I get them at the top, the whole thing racks up and then I can't reach the bolt and bad things happen. Screws in there. I've been using, I tried to use my cordless, my rigid impact driver. It just doesn't have it, but this is a heavy duty Milwaukee 1/2 inch drill. Use it on low gear. Low gear. Put it on high gear, it snaps them. That's in, just like that. That looks good. It can go up actually a little bit. This one I thought I had it down. Can't tell if that's broken or not. That should have gone in. Try this one over here. Gonna move my clamp. Even the low gear broke that one too. That's better. All right, continue on with the system here. Went and got one of these clamps because it works a whole lot faster than the other one. Kept banging my knuckles on the ceiling trying to unclamp it. Now I just get done. Oh, I've lost my little measuring device. Where'd it go? Little measuring device. Oh, here it is, found it. So kind of a combination of getting that, and then I also try to see am I close there with that angle. That's pretty good. And that's pretty good there. Ran out of screws. Those techs, I broke about 30% of them. I tried a whole bunch of different things, going fast, going slow, starting slow, then going fast. So I got these. These are Hillman's. I got them at the local hardware store. They're hex heads, which I was a little nervous about. And they don't go right in. Like the techs, if they either went straight in like right away or they broke. These ones have to go in, but they haven't broken one yet. But, oops, I get the hex heads are kind of a hassle. Get it there. There we go. They do go in. Just takes a little bit of going. I had rotator cuff surgery in December. So I'll just consider it physical therapy. Getting set up in my little rolling table here. Oh! I feel like a flight attendant. Oh yes, Mr. Rib, would you like a little blanket today? You're feeling cold. Oh, you would. Well, let me get you right set up with the little blanket. I do think this stuff is going to help. It's significantly warmer on the fingers than this metal. Oh, come on. Get stuck up there. Come on. I need a new blade on my knife here. It's getting dull. And today, would you like spruce or spruce? Oh, I'm glad. Spruce it is. I know what we have in stock. Make sure that fits for you, sir. Oh, that's looking good. Phillips heads today, because that's what these are. Going in hard. I'll be one sore dude after about 200 of those, I think. Okay, we're making progress. We are just about done. Now adding the final little block in here, which turned out to be a royal pain actually. In hindsight, I guess I was thinking I could cut my screws down. You know, if these only ones really need one, and they spin a little bit, but they're wedged in there so tight, I don't really think that's going to be an issue. But I should have gone probably this block, gone about half as long, and made these about the same length, I guess, because it's so tight in there. It's hard to get a clamp on it, and it's tough working its way in the corner. So it's been kind of a frustrating process. Had to go back to this clamp because the other one didn't fit so well. Been working it up against the ceiling. I blooded all my knuckles at one point. And I had the Phillips head screws actually had worked pretty well yesterday, but now when you get it off course just a little bit, they strip out, and it's been tough. Try to get that lined up just right. See, and it kicks like that, and now we're offline. I don't know. Right. Yes. Yep, like that. Now it's stripped out, and you have to wrestle with it. Not the most fun project I've been involved with in the bus so far.